Hey, what's up everyone? It's Mike Mangialardi from Coding Artist, and I am releasing this video a day before the Nintendo Switch comes out, and I have to admit, with seeing all the amazing reviews for Breath of Wild, I am totally on the hype train. So I thought after working with Vue.js so much that it would be kind of cool to take the color scheme of the Vue.js logo and make a minimalistic Triforce logo using that color scheme, and I'm going to be calling this the Vue.js Triforce logo. So first things first, let me look at the image on the right and see what classes I'm going to need. So I've already put here a box, and this box is going to be the outer container for this image. And then this is going to be a very, very simple image. So we'll just need 3 triangles, which I'll call Triforce 1, Triforce 2, and Triforce 3. Alright, so first things first, let me get the body background color, and I'm going to make it the green in the Vue.js logo. So I'm using a tool called Colorzilla so I can extract this color. And I'm going to paste it in here, and there I have the background. But I'm going to take advantage of using the CSS preprocessor, and I'm going to store this as a variable. So to do a variable, I do the $, and I'm going to call it green. Then I could copy and paste this hex code and set it equal to green. And now I can go ahead and use it as a variable. Now this is a really cool feature of using the CSS preprocessor, and when you start to get more images where you're repeating colors a lot, it makes a lot of sense to be using variables as it cleans up your code really nicely. In this example we could probably get away without doing it, but I thought it'd be a good opportunity to introduce that. Alright, so I got the body that's going to be the green. Let me get the other colors. So we're going to have our navy, which I could grab now. And then we're also going to just have our white, which is going to be simple and just white. And so let's do our box. So our box is going to be position relative. We want it to be margin auto. And we're going to do display block, so it'll be centered. And then we could do a margin top 8%, which is going to drop down our image just a little bit. And let's do a background of white so we can see this. And we also need to find a height of 400 pixels, a width of 600 pixels. And it looks like I have a slight error. Actually, I put a colon instead of semicolon. And now we should see our box. So this is going to be the container of our Triforce logo. So when we have our triangles in here, they're going to be sized and positioned using percentages. They're going to be relative to this box and not to the entire body. So let's get rid of this background of white, and I'm going to change it to a border of white so we can still see the container we're working with, but we'll make sure to remove it at the end. Alright, so we have our box. So next we're going to do our Triforce 1, and we're going to do position absolutes. And for our background, let's do this the navy color. Alright, so we have our Triforce 1, which is going to be the navy color. Now we can go ahead and do a height and width, which will do 30% height, 30% width. And then we also need to put in our transformation codes so we can transform this into a triangle. And I'm going to use this tool called Clippy so I can get the CSS clip path. Now the only downfall of using a clip path like this, which is really easy by the way, you just click on these different shapes and you can go ahead and copy and paste the clip path value. But anyways, the downside is that it is not supported with Firefox. However, this is just practicing and demoing with CodePen, so it's not really much of an issue for me. So I'm going to go ahead and move forward. But anyways, I go ahead and paste that in there, and then we see we have the triangle. I want this to be a little less wide, so I'm going to change it to 25%. There, that looks about right. Maybe a little bit narrower, so we could do 20%. Maybe not quite so narrow, and I'll settle at 22. So now I need to center this in the middle, and so how I can do that is 100 minus 22 divided by 2, which will give me the left value, so it'll be centered horizontally. So that is going to be 78 divided by 2, which is 39%. And now we see it's in the center, Now let's drop this down a bit. So let's do a top of 15%. Alright, that looks like it will do. Now I can just copy and paste this since it's going to be very similar. However, with our Triforce 2, we're going to have a different top and left value. So let me change this to a top of 65, which is a little too low. So let me adjust it to 50. And now let me adjust the left to 29. And using trial and error, I'm going to go until I get it just right. Okay, so that looks good. Now let me bring it up just a tad. I'm going to keep going till I get to connect. That looks right. Adjust the left, and there it looks like it's fitting perfectly. The only thing I'm also going to change as well is I want to change this to a background of white. And now for our Triforce 3, we can go ahead and paste that there. And we're going to change the left to right. So we can have the same thing as Triforce 2, just on the different side. And we're going to change this to a color of green. And as you can see, that's not going to work. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a cool tool called coolers.co. Instead of doing this, the background is the green color, I'm going to keep Triforce 3 as green and find another color for the background. So let me find something that's going to be quite neutral. But anyways, this coolers.co is really cool because I can go here and hit the space bar and get some different colors. And this looks like it'd be a good background color. So let me go in here and I'll add another variable called background. And I'll paste this hex code in here. And then I'll change our body from a background of green to a background of our variable that's background. So there we see we have the Vue.js logo and we have a cool background. I want this to be a little lighter, so I could go back to coolers, click alternative shades, and I'm going to get something a little bit lighter. So that looks about right. And I'm going to change it right in here. And we should see the change like that. Alright, cool. So we have a Vue.js Triforce logo. So let me get rid of this border since we're no longer needing it. Alright, so there we go. We have our Vue.js Triforce logo using purely CSS. Now let's add a little bit of extra excitement and let's add animation, which we'll call Pulse 1, because we're going to have 3, 1 for each Triforce triangle. And let's make this animation last 2 seconds, and we want this to repeat infinitely. So I'm going to copy this and paste it into our other triangles, and we're just going to make some slight changes. So we'll do Pulse 2, and this one let's do 3 seconds. And let's paste this in here, and we'll do Pulse 3, and let's make this last 1 second. So let's go ahead and define these CSS animations using @keyframes. And then we'll do Pulse 1 to start. And then we're going to have a start color that we want, and then a color that we want to end with. So let's have it so when we're 0 seconds into our animation, that we'll have a background color of background. However, when we get to 100%, we'll have a background of navy. And now we can see this animation working. Now let's do the same thing for Pulse 2 and Pulse 3. Except for Pulse 2, we want it to go to white. And with our Pulse 3, we want it to go to green. And now these are all happening at different times, so it's going to be a bit different. I noticed this is a Pulse 2. Let's change it to Pulse 3. All right, so there we go. We have our Triforce logo, and it's pulsing different colors, and we are complete with. All right, a quick update. After I ended recording the video and I was looking at the animation I had, I didn't like how they were kind of blinking so quick. So I went ahead and changed all these animations to a duration of 8 seconds. So Triforce 1 has Pulse 1 for 8 seconds, Triforce 2 has Pulse 2 for 8 seconds, and Triforce 3 has our animation of 3 seconds. So everyone, thanks for checking this video, and make sure to like and subscribe. We've also got some links if you like this video that you might like as well. So go ahead and check those out, and we'll see you next time.